Greetings, I'm Amy with Mindfulness in the Heartland. This video is one in a series of videos that I'm offering on the topic of mindful parenting. The intention of this series is to offer accessible resources to parents that can potentially support their parenting journey to help them gain more clarity and stability as they go about their daily lives and their roles as parents. This first video is going to be on the topic of intention and intentionality, which is really a central piece of mindfulness and mindful parenting. So first, let me begin by really defining what mindful parenting is. So mindful parenting is really about living with a greater awareness of our moment-to-moment experience while cultivating a non-judgmental acceptance of ourselves and our children. One of the foundations that mindfulness, the definition of mindfulness, whether it's mindful parenting or mindfulness in general, kind of one of the foundational components of mindfulness has to do with this idea of intention, right? And it's really about aligning with what is important to us and bringing awareness of that into our moment-to-moment experiences. So with regard to mindful parenting, into the experience of parenting, having a sense of what's important and valuable to us and using that really as a guidepost for us as we go through our daily interactions. So intentions are really aligned with our value system, and they provide the fuel or motivation for how we're showing up in the present moment. Intentions are not about goals for the future. It's not about being something that's going to happen way out in the future. It's about how we show up right here, right now. I like to use the metaphor of, the intentions, they provide this framework or template for us in terms of how we're navigating from moment to moment. I like to use the metaphor of the kind of bumps along the sides of the road when you're driving, that like when you veer outside of your lane, those bumps really alert you that you need to get back into your lane. So intentions really can, it's really a very similar metaphor for our intentions. When we are aware and are allowing our intentions to guide us in the present moment, it gives us a means to get back on track when we're veering outside of where we say we want to be, whether that's in our interactions with our children or in terms of how we're treating ourselves in the present moment or how we're showing up for ourselves in the present moment. So, intentions, when we get clarity around them, when we have, when we're anchored in them in our moment-to-moment experience, they give us choice. Intentions move us out of automatic pilot mode. When we're aware and aligned with our intentions, when we start to veer off course, we have a means for bringing ourselves back because we have that awareness of our intentions to help pull us back in. They also can be really helpful when we perhaps don't have a lot of awareness around habits that aren't helpful. And I'll use a personal experience to kind of speak to this. I learned very quickly in my parenting that communication was going to be something I was going to have to work on and develop in myself. And I was only made aware of that because I had intentions around the type of relationship I wanted to cultivate with my children. And pretty early on, it became clear to me that some of my behaviors weren't aligned with my intentions. And that can be really helpful, although it's terribly humbling, I will tell you that. Although we can be humbled by these insights, it can be helpful in terms of helping us recognize where we as human beings need to develop and grow. I have found having a sense of my intentions be very helpful to recognizing that there are things that I don't know, that I need to understand better if I want to parent well. So they can help us explore areas where we may need some growth as a person. And they can also help us step away, right? This idea of choice, that when we can see that we're veering off course, we can just bring ourselves back. And even if we go off course, even if we go far outside the boundaries of our value system, we can recognize that and begin again. You know, provides us a sense of just getting back in alignment. It doesn't have to be so gut-wrenching when we veer out off course, that we can recognize it, we can come back, and that can be very helpful. So I think it's really important as parents that we take some time to really reflect on what intentions we wish to bring into our parenting. And that can be questions like, how do you want to see yourself as a parent? How do you want to show up? How do you want to feel about yourself as a parent? And how do you want your interactions with your child to look? These are really critical questions that we should probably spend some time reflecting on. And that can be really helpful in how we develop this relationship, not only with our children, but also with ourselves. How are we showing up for ourselves from moment to moment? Those are important questions for us to ask. So with all that being said, with this video, you should find a link that will take you to a sign up for a guided reflection that I've put together. What you'll need to do is just provide your email address, and I can send you an MP3 file that will walk you through a guided reflection that will hopefully help you identify some of your intentions for your parenting. I will caution that in terms of getting some understanding around our intentions, it's also important to consider, what is realistic. Many of us suffer from perfectionism and trying to be perfect parents. And the reality is that's just not a realistic goal for us to have. So I encourage you to look at your intentions in terms of whether they're realistic, in terms of their achievement, right? We're going to make mistakes. That's why we begin again. So if you like this video, if you found it of value, and you would like to explore the guided practice, please click on the link and sign up, and I'll get you the MP3 file for the guided practice. If you think this video would be helpful to other people, please feel free to share it. My intention is to get the topic of mindful parenting in front of as many parents as possible. So until we meet again, may you be happy, may you be safe, may you be peaceful, and may you live with ease and well-being. Bye for now.